Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. Yes. Today we are back with a new NHL video and a new franchise mode. But today we're starting a new franchise as, drum rolls please. Just gotta find them real quick. The Portland Cougars, a new team coming into the league. So I decided to put the Portland Cougars in the Metropolitan Division. So I got the salary cap is still on. There's no fog of war. There's no GM firing, and there's no injuries. So may the best team win. So we have the 4th pick overall. So that means Connor Bedard is going to San Jose. So hopping into the expansion draft. Let's do it. So with our first pick, we picked left winger Max Jones. Cheap contract. Probably more of a 4th line to an AHL kind of guy. With our second pick, we decided to take from Arizona Ivan Provetov, goalie, 75 overall, 24 years old. He's still young, got a cheap contract that we have to re-sign, but he won't last much. He's probably like a guy that we see as our backup in the future, but for now, he's probably going to be an AHL starter. With our third pick from the Boston Bruins, we decided to take Matt. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this name. Grzelcyk. That was pretty terrible, but you know what? We do it. With our third pick, we pick Peyton Krebs from the Buffalo Sabres. Absolute steal of a pick right there. With our pick for the Calgary Flames, we picked Dan Vladar, 83 overall. He's probably going to be our backup goalie. Has a pretty cheap contract. I think that's a great move. With our pick for the Carolina Hurricanes, we decided to go with Jesse Puljujarvi. That is, I am butchering names right now, but I think he's RFA at the end of the... his contract's done, but I think he's RFA. So we're probably going to try to re-sign him. You know, a guy with a lot of potential, so we'll try to see if he can put it together with our team. For our next pick from the Chicago Blackhawks, we decided to select defenseman Caleb Jones. We got to re-sign him, but as he's also RFA, like Puljujarvi. So I think it's a good defenseman, can be, as I said, a top 6. So he's probably going to be 5, 6... so that's a good pick. So here's our biggest pick so far. We got Samuel Girard from the Colorado Avalanche. He's got a pretty big contract, 5 years, $5 million. But as a guy who's probably going to be on our top pairing, I think it's a huge pick. This was a pretty tough one to choose. Avalanche had some good pieces that we could have taken. But I think Samuel Girard, good point maker, a good point guy, I think he could really complement our team. Our next move was Andrew Peeke from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had a 3-year deal that was coming, an extension coming, but not too expensive. He's a defensive defenseman, so he's really going to complement if we put him with Samuel Girard or whoever else. So I think it's a very, very good. Our next pick for the Dallas Stars was Thomas Harley. He's a very young prospect who has a top 4 potential, so I think he can really complement our team. Probably going to start the year in the AHL or as a bench guy, but as the year moves on, he's probably going to become, or as the years progress, he's probably going to become a top 4, hopefully, to maybe even a top 6 if he is on the backside. With our next pick, we pick a left winger, Filip Zadina. He is a top 6 potential, 80 overall, has a 3-year contract with a under 2 at 1.825 if I'm not mistaken. Very good pick. He's young too. I think it's a very, very good move for us. Our next pick for the Edmonton Oilers will be Fojili. He's a left winger, has a 2-year contract if I'm not mistaken, at just under 3 at 2.75. He's a power forward, so he's probably going to be on the back lines. I think he's going to be on the 3rd pairing, but I think he could really complement our team. Okay, with our next pick, I was thinking of going with another player, but Florida just left this guy open. We'd have taken Spencer Knight. He has a 5-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, jumping in to 4.5, but for a young goalie, elite potential, this is going to be the face of our franchise in a way. I think it's an absolute steal. Next pick we got from the Los Angeles Kings, got Blake Lizotte. 81 overall, a top 9 forward potential. He's got a cheap contract for like 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a playmaker, so he's really going to help the snipers that we picked up in the last few picks. With our next pick from the Minnesota Wild, we pick Ryan Hartman, 83 overall. He has 1 more year left at like 1.6. He's going to be a top forward on our team. Right wing was kind of lacking so far in the picks we were making. But I think this is an absolute great pick for us. Next pick from the Montreal Canadiens, we got Jake Evans. He has 2 years left at 1.7. He's 81 overall, pretty good, 27 years old. I think it's a very good bottom pairing guy that we can have. Nashville didn't have much that interested me, so I went with Sherwood. He had didn't have an expensive contract, probably going to be more of a fourth line if he's in the NHL, or he's probably going to be more of an AHL guy, in my opinion. With our pick for the New Jersey Devils, we just locked up our for sure first liner in Tyler Toffoli. He's a pretty good player. He had coming off a great season. He does have 1 year left on his contract. If we really like him, we keep him. If we don't, we can probably get some good value for him. This pick was very easy for me. Alexander Romanov has 2 years left on his contract, and I think he's even RFA after it. So Alexander Romanov, I think this is a huge pickup for us. With our next pick, we're taking a chance on a guy who has a lot of potential but has not shown much so far since joining the league. We're taking Kaapo Kakko, still has another year of contract. Still an elite potential guy, but hasn't put it all together with New York, but he's going to come to our club. With our next pick, we're taking Formenton. He's a 82 overall left winger, top 6 potential. He's going into RFA, so he's probably going to get a good contract out of him. He's probably going to be a bottom pairing, but it could be a very good pickup. With our next pick, we're taking Felix Sandstrom. I just wanted to complete the goalie, so we got our 2 NHL guys and we got our 2 AHL guys. There wasn't too much else that was really intriguing me for our team. With our next pick, we're going with 23-year-old Ty Smith. This is more of an AHL pick in my opinion. Guy who can be like a reserve player, or can be a guy that's going to play in the AHL, who can still develop. I think that was a good pick. Nothing else really intriguing for me. With our next pick from the San Jose Sharks, we take Knitsov, a good defensive defenseman, has a 2-year contract coming in at 1.25 if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a pretty safe pick. I think it's a guy that can really show a lot, so I'm pretty happy with that pick. Our next pick from the Seattle Kraken is Tolvanen, a guy who's a first-round pick and is kind of like Kakko, hasn't really proved much in the league yet, but maybe going to a new club will actually help him. Our next player that we select from the St. Louis Blues is Toroshenko. Just wanted to get another like AHL kind of guy, get these young guys that can progress and also have a pretty competitive team in the AHL. With our next pick, we're picking Daniel Walcott. Yeah, with our next pick, we picked from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Dur Agushstev, another young guy who I'm going to be probably putting in the AHL. For me, the next pick was pretty easy. Beauvillier, good kind of an expensive contract, but I think he's going to mature into it. I think he can be a good player on our team. Top kind of 6 pairing on our team. I think it's a good pick from the Vancouver Canucks. With another steal in the goalie department, in my opinion, we got Logan Thompson. Very cheap contract, under $1 million for another 2 seasons. That kind of completing our absolute gem of a goalie in Knight and Thompson, and then Vladar is going to be our backup in the minors, and then you got Sandstrom and Prosvetov. With our next pick, we take Protas, a young kid, another guy in the AHL, if I'm being honest. And to finish off the draft for the Winnipeg Jets, our Winnipeg Jets selection, we're taking Gustafsson, a center, 23-year-old, another young guy, and another probably AHL kid, if we're being honest. So our draft is finished. So now we're at the NHL entry draft. Let's see what we have the opportunity to pick. So no surprise, as you can see, the three first picks. You got Connor Bedard, 83 overall franchise, going to the Sharks. You got Leo Carlson going to Anaheim. You got Zach Benson going to Columbus. This should probably mean that we have got a good pick. Probably an Adam Fantilli. Oh, Adam Fantilli is nowhere to be seen. So with our pick, we took Boyton, right defenseman, 74 overall, elite prospect. If you want to see real quick, he's got minor top 4, elite. Probably gonna go back to play wherever he was. As you can see, he's a 280. But, he got pretty good stats for a fourth overall pick. I'm pretty happy. If we look at Connor Bedard real quick, he's a sniper. You can see his stats are already incredible. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he develops. Bill Carlson also playmaker, pretty good stats, and Zach Benson, pretty good stats. So the first trade we're trying in this franchise is getting Keith Kincaid and their first overall pick for a 6th, Vladar, and a 5th. With our 20th pick, we're taking Dower Nelson, a center, 68 overall, top 6 potential, really good pick. With our next pick, we got a 65 overall, top 9 forward, with elite speed. As you can see, he's got great acceleration already at 18 years old. With our 3rd round pick, we got top 6 potential Minio. Great pick in my opinion. In the fourth round, we got an elite potential Babkov right wing 57. Pretty much an absolute steal, in my opinion. We got in the seventh round with our final pick, Petrov 7th D 59 overall. Pretty good move altogether. So that concludes the draft. As you can see, our picks are all here. Our 2 first round picks are Boynton and Dower Nelson. Then we got with our second round pick Cataford. Our third round pick Menio. I think that's our fourth round pick Bubkov, and with our seventh round pick Petrov. So altogether, I think it's some good prospects we got. I think we got some absolutely steals like you saw in the third, fourth round, and our 3 first picks I think were absolute killer. So this will also conclude this video and the first video. In the next video, we will be doing the off season and playing the first preseason game. I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.